There we go. Matt,
So
Sue Ellen,
is someone going to read the,
do you want us to do that tonight? Do you want to
certainly.
share your screen? Uh, so we'll have our mission statement.
Well, I don't have my the mission statement ready to
Okay, I
put
can
up.
share mine. I can share mine real quick. That's
I
fine.
have all my other stuff lined up. I don't want to get out of line.
Yeah. In honor of Shot being at Richard's house, we'll read the mission statement again.
Right. There you go, Shot.
There you go, Shot. You should read it, Shot.
We work as political activists to build a bold new democracy that is passionate, progressive, and powered by people.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
And your brother-in-law, Richard, powered us for 4 years plus. Yeah. Oh my goodness, it was longer than that, wasn't it? 5.5, I think, something like that. Okay, great. All right,
Unshare your screen or I won't know what to do.
All righty, I'm unshared. So
Okay, so here's the deal. The CV team and the leadership team of Bold New Democracy, this Bold New Democracy, have been meeting and talking about how to organize our work for the coming year, because we feel that there will be a great deal to accomplish and that we're in a pretty good position to forge ahead on it. So what I want to do is have a little discussion this evening based around what we've accomplished and and then how we want to reorganize slightly, and Matt's going to talk about that and see if we can get feedback from you all on it. But the first thing I would like to do, and I'm not aware of what Russ has been involved with, but I hope you'll speak up, Russ, when it's your turn. This is a little clip from last year's goals and objectives. And I took this piece out because it said we must actually actively engage and work with other like-minded groups. And we name some of them here: Common Cause, League of Women Voters, NAACP, ACLU, Fair Districts, Ohio Democratic Party, Hamilton County Democratic Party, and various elected officials and candidates for office. So we have, some of us have worked with any and all of those people. And in order to, and we focused specifically on these 4 things: independent redistricting, to redraw all the maps. So that seems like a long time ago. There's so much going on about it last year. But we did try to work with the group that was leading that independent redistricting commission. The reproductive rights, making abortion a constitutional right, and that was a pretty successful one. Defeating the current attempts to change the Ohio Constitution, and that one was successful. And then investigate and make recommendations for changing gun safety laws. I am not aware of a lot being accomplished in that particular field, but maybe some of you know better. And what I'd like to do is ask each person and I'm going to give you an idea of what I have done, and then I want to flip down to Chot, Mary, Sue, Russ, and the others who are not on the committee, and then come back to Dan and Matt, if that's okay. The strongest thing that I worked on, or the thing I worked on and spent the most time on, of the ones that are named here, is the reproductive rights and the issue, the other issue one, trying to, the legislature trying to change the Ohio Constitution. And there were both postcard letter writing efforts by Bold New Democracy and by others. And so I'm not going to say too much about that, but I am going to say I do work a fair amount with the League of Women Voters in different ways. And I have in the past worked with NAACP, but that's been more difficult to do. At one time, BND had a direct connection with NAACP, and we seem to have drifted away from that. So those are my contributions. And can we go to Chot? Can you jump in? Because you're the one that's on my screen.
Yeah, I got signatures to get things on the ballot. I went door to door handing out literature. I had signs in my yard, and kind of confused my grandson because in August you were supposed to vote no on issue one, and in November you were supposed to vote yes on issue one. And he was like, I thought you were supposed to vote no on issue one. I was like, yeah, that was in August, but now in November it's totally different. So, and I've been staying up with the redistricting. I've been to a training a couple of weeks ago about how to get to people to sign on to get an independent commission, and I'm going to pick up some papers to start doing that very soon. That they said they'll be ready on the 27th. So
Really?
I haven't really done anything with gun violence, but my wife works a lot with League of Women Voters, and her committee is policing and race, and she really talks to the city council about what they feel about policing and race. And they also had a little thing where Charmaine McGuffey and another sheriff from a neighboring county talked about policing and race. And so Mary's really active in that. That's very, very passionate about that. So.
Great. Sue, do you want to go next?
Okay. So I collected lots and lots and lots of signatures for the issue one August election. Went to a lot of festivals, talked to a lot of people. And then I made a lot of phone calls with a group, trying to encourage mostly Black voters to get out and vote no in November for issue one, against issue one. And that was interesting. Lots and lots of phone calls there. And I got a lot of other people to agree to work with me to get signatures. So I managed kind of a crew for the August election. And I'm expecting to do something similar for the next big issue, which is redistricting, getting it on the ballot. For the redistricting back in the spring, was it back in the spring? It seems so much longer ago than that.
It's a long time ago.
I spoke at that meeting. I was very, very amazed and disheartened at the indifference of Mike DeWine on that issue. And I feel strongly that Mike DeWine is a wolf in sheep's clothing. And I really am, my main commitment is to get those guys out of office forever.
Can you say, have you worked with some of these other organizations, or have you picked up what you wanted to do through our newsletters and then just gone ahead and joined it?
No, I've worked with several organizations, actually. I went door to door back, I don't know, I guess it was, I don't know, when was it? Last spring with the Asian American group. I mean, there was an election, wasn't there? Last spring. I don't know.
I don't think
Seems
there
like-
was. There's
No, maybe
usually
it
a
was last
primary.
fall. Maybe it was last fall. Yeah, it might have been. I work with that group because one of their members and leaders lives on my street. And then I just signed up to get the training that Chat's talking about, and I signed up to do just about anything they want me to do on that constitutional, is it a constitutional amendment to get gerrymandering under control?
Yeah.
That ballot initiative, I really want to focus on that. That's my goal, is to focus on that, because until that's changed, I don't think there's much that can be done about these people up in Columbus, because they really don't feel the pressure to work for the people. They feel the pressure to get reelected by their base, and they don't feel that they have to represent everybody because of the gerrymandering. So I don't think there's much interest, there's not much point in working on anything else that's so important for the next year, as far as I'm concerned. Let's see, there's another group. There's a Hyde Park group, East Hyde Park group, that's just forming. I've gone to a couple of their meetings. I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to focus on, I'm going to work with them that much. I mean, Bold New Democracy, I like working with because you're very organized. Not our other group, the Greater Cincinnati Dems, is falling apart. I used to be very active in that group. So are we having David Pepper speak? Is that on the agenda?
Yeah, that'll be next month.
Because I think he's got some important things to say, especially when it comes to the voucher situation. I'm really passionate about that, getting rid of that. I don't think we can get rid of it because the people who have the money, who control the campaigns, who control who gets elected, they're going to want to keep this, now that horse is out of the barn. I don't see.
Okay, I'm
doing
going to
anything
cut you
about
off
that.
so we have enough time to
Yeah.
get
Yeah, go ahead.
everybody's voice in the room, and then still get to look at our proposal for next time. But thanks, Sue. It sounds like you're working with some of the smaller neighborhood groups, and maybe you can pull them in with us a little bit and get some more stuff going.
Yeah, maybe.
Who else? Russ, are you going to speak up with us and let us know what kind of things you're interested in and doing?
Oh, there, you made it easy for me. I might say a few of the organizations I help out or advocate for. National Nurses United. I do texting for them. Poor People's Campaign. I haven't done anything with them since they went up to Washington, D.C. Then KUFA, which is Communities United for Action. I support them, and they're mostly like about getting MSD under control. And they do some things on housing and electricity. And what I'd like to do, I didn't tell you all of I attend the monthly meetings of the Homeless Coalition, which then I'll segue into. I worked with them on the affordable housing issue, which did not do well. And I sent on that one, I sent their promotion. I think it was on, if I'm guessing it right. There was another organization, not just the Homeless Coalition, and I sent that to all the 48 citizen communities councils. Yeah, I like to work on the computer. And then, well, with KUFA, I work well, also flooding. That's the hot one coming or working right now. And then one I might mention, and I don't know if it's useful to the group, rent controls. And there's the Ohio Revised Code that doesn't allow it. That's a good summary of it. And basically,
did you have a letter to the editor recently? Somebody had a letter to the editor about rent control. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was in the Herald and it was from out of town. Okay, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
Anyway,
It's an unusual topic.
When I participate in, and then I picked out those last two or three in case it's you might be able to tell me it's got connections that I don't know about.
Okay. All right, thanks. Okay, who's going next? Elizabeth? Lucy?
Okay, I'm unmuted now. I mainly work with my ward, which is the 23rd ward. We're very active. Harriet Russell's the ward chair. So I've worked on lots of things for her, notably the two items that you had mentioned, the two campaigns, sorry, the reproductive rights and also the thing that we voted on that stupid ass election in August.
Constitutional amendment. Yeah.
Thank you. Constitutional amendment. Yeah. Okay. And then through Harriet, I've worked on other things like she's usually helps or directs the campaign for Cincinnati Federation of Teachers for the candidates that they have endorsed. And so she and I will work on that campaign. And I have been a precinct executive, although I'm not presently, but I am going to be on the ballot for the next time we vote on that. So I'll be doing that. And I work closely with Lucy because she's the next precinct over from me. And so I've been busy, but it's mostly just directing what Harriet wants me to do. And that's from the Hamilton County Democratic Party for the most part, although I don't always see eye to eye with them. And so sometimes I can persuade the ward to, break the rules. Most notably, they had made this edict that we could not have candidates at our meetings unless they were endorsed candidates. And I said, no. In a democracy, we listen to everyone who's running and then make a decision who we want. So, if a candidate says that they want to come talk to us and they're not an endorsed candidate, we're still going to let them come and talk to us. So, yeah, so that was a big to-do, but, anyway, I worked on a lot of different, types of things because I've done it through the ward.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
I'll speak up too. Since Betsy just talked about our ward, as precinct executive here in 23C in Northside, I did what our role is, which is to cover my precinct in terms of door-to-door campaigning, talking to people, and we did it on redistricting, reproductive rights, vote no in August, and also candidates, but more heavily, I would say the door-to-door talking and the signatures for reproductive rights and redistricting were face-to-face. We did a lot of work at coffee shops here and at events here. We did honkin' waves. I also work with League of Women Voters on this, delivering information to barbershops and beauty salons. Also work with OPPR, Ohio Physicians, or OPRR, Ohio Physicians for Reproductive Rights. So all those groups, events, door-to-door, etc. So, and we, in the most recent election, our ward just really knocked it out of the park in terms of the voting patterns.
Yep,
Which
yep.
Carrie shared with us. I think we were like 80-something% across the board in all our precincts in terms of voting no on issue 1. Was it no, yes on issue 1? Whoops.
Yes, you won.
No
Yeah.
in August, yes in November. So trying to confuse us,
So
and they
did-
did.
Lucy, can I ask you, because
Yeah.
for the data heads that I talk with in the committee meetings,
Yeah.
when you say 80% voted the right way, does
Right.
that mean what percentage of people in the wards voted?
Well, I think across the board, what was it across? I forget what it was across the board, and I don't know. I just know that those that
Okay.
voted.
That's all right.
Yeah. We have a pretty, I mean, at least in Northside, it's pretty heavily Democratic. College Hill's sort of like that too. I
Mhm.
don't know about Mount Airy, but
Well,
In Hamilton, I was gonna say real quick, in Hamilton County, 47% of the voters voted in November. And
Right.
it was something like 42% in August.
right.
total voters. Right.
Yeah. Registered voters, yeah.
You
Percentage.
know, and
of-
it was interesting on NPR tonight or PBS or whatever news show I was watching. And I saw this in another data point that 18 of the counties in Ohio that went for Trump wound up going for reproductive rights. And so Missouri was quoting that because they are now taking up that banner of trying to get reproductive rights in their constitution. And they said, if Ohio can do it with 18 counties that were pro-Trump voting yes, we can do it. So I thought that was great.
Okay. Dan and Matt. They do different things.
Yeah,
Wait till you hear.
we argue a lot.
No, I mean what you accomplish for us.
Yeah. Matt, do you want to go first?
Honestly, I think the biggest thing that we accomplished for BND in 2023 was something that we did together, which was getting our cooperation with OPRR. And we were one of the first groups to sign on to that back in February. And then we had a very close and strong, and Lucy can attest to this too, cooperation with them all the way through both elections. And then we even did some of our own data gathering and our own postcarding that Dan put together. And so I think that was be my idea of our biggest accomplishment for 2023. So,
Well, that's a group accomplishment, Matt. What about your own work? What,
I did the graphic design for the postcards, so,
There you go.
the postcards and the T-shirts and
yeah.
looking up data and doing. He's now studying to be a political something.
Campaign manager, right? Yeah.
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 All right. Go, Dan.
Well, most of my work has been organizing B&D stuff, and probably every one of the groups that you have on the cause are on the screen right now. I've probably advertised something for them in our newsletter, putting that together, focusing on it. Also, I did some work in terms of collecting signatures, not nearly what Sue and Greg did this year. But actually, I was the one that asked for volunteers to do that, and Sue and Greg spoke up. So I'll take credit for small part of the 1,600. I think it was 1,600 signatures they collected, something like that, which was fantastic.
They did have some help. I mean, some of the rest of us helped.
That was B&D recognized. That was my understanding. Collected signatures with help, but they did a lot. Also, I did considerable number of letters that were printed in the Enquirer. In fact, one of them was on the gun issue. There's several, and I posted on our webpage, actually, one of the, I guess, pieces of the legislature is House Bill 51, has to do with gun issues, and it's terrible. I wrote a letter regarding that, and it's still out there on the website if people want to take a look at that. It's along with some other legislative issues that I've highlighted out on the website that I think are just terrible.
I'm curious, Dan. So many of the groups will send things via email and say, contact these legislators about bill number, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done any of that or tried to promote any of that?
Yeah, throughout the year, at
or
different times, I would
within our group?
I have in the newsletter. At different times throughout the year, I'd highlight a different one talking about this bill or that bill with a link to the website where I had it on the website. And in that, and listed in the website are everyone that is involved on the committee. You could copy and paste right into your email program their addresses, their email addresses, and write them all at once. And I also had the leaders separately, I believe, in some cases, and information about the issues were there, the whole works. So yeah, I did that type of coordinating. I think perhaps the way I did it required people to do a little more work than what some people did. But that's my nature. I think if you're really serious about something, you'll click on a link and go look at it.
So sometime maybe we should have a meeting designed for you to give us a tour of the website.
Okay, well, we certainly
He's
do that.
always having to tour me through this little part or that little part so I can accomplish something. So maybe
and we'll see how it
do
turns
that
out
sometime.
Yeah, we'll see how it turns out. But I've had a kind of behind the scenes argument with Beryl Love about, I'll call it an argument. I don't.
No, you can't talk about that. Get out of here. I'm moving right along. Just argue with me before I let him.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see in the future whether or not it meant anything. So,
So, okay, we're getting behind. I'm always like this, long-winded, so I don't want to take Matt's time too much. But I think that's really neat to know how everybody is interacting with all of the different pieces of our work. Now, these are the very strongly committed people. And I would hope that we can, inspire some others to pick up a thread here of our goals for next year and start getting really active. So anyway, we talked about long-term objectives and then strategic goals. And these that we have identified, there's 7 of them this year, pass the redistricting amendment to the Ohio Constitution, which of course people have already talked about, re-electing Sherrod Brown, which is practically essential, re-elect Greg Landsman, make Ohio competitive for Joe Biden for president, make inroads in state legislature and Supreme Court, elect Democratic nominee for Hamilton County prosecutor, and hold other county offices, build both group membership and influence in Southwest Ohio. And this is the one that I have been pushing now early in this conversation, because our attendance has dwindled down and it's really hard to build enthusiasm unless we can see what the other people are doing. So, so I'm hoping you guys that are here can, bring a friend or ask them to tune in at an appropriate meeting, and we'll see what we can do about building the membership, building the influence, etc. So, Matt, those are some big orders, and Matt is going to introduce the ideas about how we should go about it. And then in particular, one step that he is thinking might be, we are the group, but thinking might help with building both membership and influence. So there you go, Matt.
So Ellen, so as you guys look at our little list here, our top 7, keep in mind one thing, that of the 7, 6 of them are about winning elections, whether it's winning the constitutional referendum, winning the Senate, winning Hamilton County prosecutor. It's all about, electoral politics. And so what we think would be the best way to be most effective for our group in the current landscape would be, because we have contacts with people all over the activism spectrum in Cincinnati and in Hamilton County, from guns, climate, fair districts, housing, reproductive rights, all of these various issue-based organizations we have contacts with. So our thought was that Bold New Democracy is remarkably well placed to serve as an electoral hub, so we can bring all these various strands of activism together and translate that into votes. And for Sherrod Brown, for Greg Landsman, for Joe Biden, for whoever our nominees are for the other various districts in our state legislature and our state senate. because what we've seen, even though Ward 23 heads up Ward 23, yay. That's my ward too, has been doing really well with turnout. A lot of Cincinnati has not over the past 8 or 10 years. A lot of Hamilton County, Franklin County, Cuyahoga County, the big 3 blue counties in Ohio are seeing sort of very weird drop-offs amongst voter participation, and it's costing us statewide. And so the best thing in our mind that we can do is be that electoral hub to focus on increasing turnout in Cincinnati and the other parts of Hamilton County. We're the best of the 3, by the way, as far as turnout goes. But, you know, so we would work with basically anybody that wanted to be part of this. I know there's a lot of these organizations that are specifically nonpartisan, and so they wouldn't be able to take part as an organization. But like a lot of BND members have done over various times in the past, individuals from those groups could still have an outlet for electoral politics. And so our thought was to have Bold New Democracy try to be that hub for our area. And the way that we have found to be the most productive and easiest way to do that, and I'm going to share my screen, so Ellen, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Is by becoming the local affiliate, and there isn't one in Hamilton County, of Swing Left. I don't know if any of you are familiar with this organization. They were a group that started in 2018, focused on winning congressional races in swing districts. But since then, they have expanded their focus. Like they did a lot of work on both the August and the November issue ones in Ohio. They're, I'm assuming, planning on working on redistricting. But if we become the Hamilton County affiliate, we would have influence in that. So basically, the advantage of becoming our affiliate is we get a bunch of tools that we can use to organize, and we get access to a much larger group of people than we have right now, of all ages, races, you know, very, very diverse. They have a college program. They have, you know, all kinds of different people that are active in the community. And they are specifically targeting Greg Landsman's campaign for work in 2024. So they already have a plan that we can tag onto in Hamilton County. So, you know, and there would be basically, we would just get access to a whole bunch of tools. We'd get access to national support, and we would be able to attract a larger core group of folks to work with if we, you know, join this group here. So that would be my suggestion on how to achieve the electoral hub that we can then put forward to winning some elections in Ohio in 2024. And that's all I got. Does anybody have any questions?
Can you
That
demo-
is, I'm looking at their website, but I can't find it. I was thinking Vote Forward was part of Swing Left.
They're affiliated, but they're not like a branch of Swing Left, but they work together very closely.
That's what I thought, because we've done Vote Forward. I mean,
Yeah,
I led some of that stuff. I don't remember what issue, but and that was pretty effective. And in the report I have tonight, that Vote Forward, what's nice about them is they're looking at how they impacted the last year with their votes, with their letter writing. So they use data to look, to measure their effectiveness, which I really, really like. And I think Swing Left might do that too. I'm not
I was
sure.
gonna say, that's another thing that's really good about Swing Left is they have a lot of data
Mhm.
that we would have access to.
Can you
Um,
click on like some of the menu items there, our strategy, take action, show us a little bit?
So
So,
up here on Take Action, these are various, like you can volunteer as an individual. You can find community events. So like you go in and you put in your zip code and they say, who's your local affiliate? Well, that would be us if we do this. So you can join right there. You can find events that we would be holding if we're doing, say, a postcard writing for redistricting at such and such place on this day. It's listed right there. So anybody looking for these kind of events in our area would find them on this site. They also would give us a link and to a website for County Bolden Democracy Swing Left, whatever we choose to call it. And that would, anytime someone puts in that zip code, they would go right to our site. And then they have the support of candidates. So like they had a big national Zoom call last week to lay out their strategy for 2024. And right now until January, they're only focused on 10 House districts. Ohio 1 is one of those 10.
I think Amelia Sykes is another one.
Yeah, there's two in Ohio actually that they're very much focused
And
on.
might need help too.
What I like about Swing Left is it would probably they would draw in younger people.
Right. That's one of the big reasons that I am advocating for us to become part of this group.
Because I found in my discussions with people over all these issues is this is the first time younger people have really gotten engaged in a way that gives me hope. They really identified with these issues. A lot of them voted because they wanted marijuana to become legal, but they also voted because they didn't like the idea that government can move into healthcare decisions for women, and it's just very simple for them that they don't like that idea, that they understand that government can affect their lives. And I think that was kind of the first time I had experienced that talking with young people.
So the goal of our activism in 2024, if we adopt this plan, would be to take that energy about protecting abortion rights or legalizing marijuana and turn that into electoral wins for Sherrod, for Landsman, Chuck?
Chuck.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I agree with Sue that demographic doesn't look like ours. I mean, we had young people, but we lost them once COVID hit. But that would be, to add members and people who really are passionate. That's wonderful. That's a great idea.
So, Matt, we would probably need a liaison with them. If they're going to have our information, somebody has to deal it to them.
I'm assuming, based on discussions with Dan, that person is me, and I'm cool with that. So
You're young.
you're young. I'd have to dye my hair before I could do that. Anyway.
But yeah, if you guys are cool with me doing this, then I'm cool with doing it.
So Matt, what are the sort of have-tos when you become affiliate? What is that? I mean, other than they're a great group and they do a lot of stuff we can hook into, what's the commitment on our part?
That's it. Like if we're doing, like, say we want to organize an event and we want to use we want it to be a BND Swing Left event. The only thing that they ask is we put their logo on it. Basically, there's no restrictions. Obviously, like we're not going to do this to boost Mike DeWine or any of these people. This is a Democrat organization, but I think that's understood. But other than that, there's no restrictions. It doesn't cost anything, so and they're active in the same areas, or at least they were in 2023. Like I said, they did, our main focus was protecting abortion rights in Ohio. They worked on that massively in our state. So I would expect that if they are not already planning on coming out for, because there's several groups in Ohio that are affiliated, just not one in our area. So I assume that if they're not already planning to come out for redistricting in 24, then we can pretty easily get that to happen.
Have you checked our area recently, Matt?
Yep.
Okay.
The closest to a group, if that's what you're asking, Dan.
Yeah. Dayton, they had a couple up in Dayton, as I recall. Yeah.
And they're not super big groups as far as I can tell.
Yeah, the biggest one that was close-ish was OPAL in Columbus.
Right, that's Columbus. And then there's an indivisible group. That's the one in Columbus, I think. Indivisible Central Ohio, formerly Indivisible Ohio District 12, is what it says.
I think they're both in the Columbus area, both them and Opal.
Can't you get this live and be able to screen share it or not?
I mean, live.
Their website, rather than just having the front page.
Oh, what do you want to see?
Well, what they say is who we are. Well, we can't. Is that? Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on my computer too. It's,
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to go sit here and, it's already
Well,
almost.
no, we don't have to go through the whole thing, but just give us an idea.
So basically, like I said, they started in 2017 to work as sort of, to work on congressional swing districts. These are all the doors and funds and calls that they did in 2018.
So they raised funds?
They raise funds, they make phone calls, there's the letters that they do with Vote Forward. That was 2020. And they raise funds for, so one thing that they do is like, so if they're gonna raise funds for Greg Landsman, every penny goes to Greg Landsman. They don't take any percentage of that for themselves, which, most organizations do. But obviously you can donate directly to them to help them operate if you wanted to. But then here's what they did in 2022.
Here's their values. Look at their values right down there at the bottom.
Their values: constructive action, community, diversity, equality, inclusivity, and I love this one: effectiveness. If it doesn't work, they do an audit every year and they throw out the stuff that didn't work. Why we do this work? Elections are year-round work. That's something that we're not really good at recognizing in our movement over here. So winning isn't everything, but it's a start. So building a bold new democracy can only happen when we start winning.
They became affiliated with Vote Forward in 2018.
Yeah, it was 2018.
And they are doing the handwritten.
Great.
Yeah.
So then
I think one thing that might be, I don't know if this is what you're thinking, Matt, but if we became a group of Swing Left, it would be, maybe you said this, it would be a way for us to attract, or maybe Shot said it, young people to Bold New Democracy.
Yeah, young
Said it.
people and
Yeah,
just people in general.
yeah, that we don't know that are out there that are looking to do this kind of work.
So this is what they did in Ohio for issue 1 in August and November. So 282,000 letters, 133,000 calls, knocked on 35,000 doors. So they have these guys are not screwing around.
Right. So I think the idea that we had here was to review this, let everybody know about it, then send out in the minutes or the newsletter, whatever thing Dan uses to let people know. Then then we would ask the group at a coming meeting in December, if officially, because Bold New Democracy is a nonprofit, we have a way that we're supposed to organize to have everybody have a vote. So we would take a vote, yes or no, on these are the goals we're going to work on, and this is how we want to do it, and it would include applying to become a swing left or becoming part of swing left, and that would be put up for consideration and voting at a future meeting.
That would be the next meeting after this one.
So,
Right. December 5th will be the next meeting.
does anybody need to know any more or have any?
Well, I did have one question. How do they fund themselves? How do they pay the salaries for their own people?
Donations.
Okay. Strictly donations, huh?
Yep, they don't sell stuff.
Uh-oh. Do they care if we sell stuff?
No.
Dan's got all kinds of fundraising ideas.
We will be, like I said, we're an affiliate. That's how they run things. All the organizations like OPAL is an affiliate, but they're not like a swing left organization.
Right, okay.
Our fundraising is really donations.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of it. So. And by the way, Brewster Rhodes is going to run that for us this year. He's agreed to do that, our fundraising campaign, starting this winter. So we're working toward that as well, preparing our objectives so that he can advertise those when he's doing his fundraising. So,
Okay.
So one more thing, like down here on the bottom where it's register a new group and group builder guide. So if we decide to do this, I would probably need a couple of days to get all this stuff taken care of, but it's pretty easy. So as soon as that happens, we would be able to start using all the tools, be able to, do all the stuff they want to do. We could even host a fundraiser for Bold New Democracy if we wanted to.
There you go.
we'll
All
have to
right.
put it all together. Yeah.
Now I see how annoying it was when I kept scrolling up and down on my agriculture presentation.
Yeah,
Matt, would
You can't keep from doing it, but
it's-
it's kind of annoying to watch.
Stop sharing my screen so it won't happen anymore.
Oh,
But
Matt, I
David-
was gonna, before you did that, I was gonna ask, I don't think you shared your shirt, t-shirt pictures very much. You
No,
want
I
to do that real quick?
I gotta find them. Hang on.
So was there anything else on the strategies besides swing left that we need to talk about?
I mean, I want people to keep in mind, at least from my viewpoint, the real important part of all of that is the electoral hub idea. Like swing left just makes it really, really simple to do the electoral hub. But I don't want people to like think that, that is the overwhelming idea. So if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I think there'll be small strategies we'll come up with throughout the year, like postcard writing and
Yeah.
honking waves and stuff like that. I was part of 2 honking waves and I enjoyed both of them. They were fun. One of them was through Amber Brown's efforts.
How do you measure the effectiveness of honking waves?
How many people honk and wave?
A lot,
We gave away
A lot.
what,
lot.
15
A lot.
signs.
And it wasn't
Yeah.
because we were dressed as Barbies either.
Yeah. I think I was only called a butcher once and I received a 1 finger salute a few times, but outside of that it was mostly honk and wave. Yeah,
Yeah.
by far. Yeah.
So,
I have to tell you this. I think you'll get a kick out of it. One of the phone calls I made, I was called let me see, baby killer, what was the other one? Racist, and a whore in 30 seconds.
Oh my.
efficient use of time.
I thought it was pretty, there was a lot to get in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
The only thing, when I went around with Ruth, most people know who Ruth is, and I was driving and she was, we would stop the car and get out, put up the signs for the candidate, I think it was Seth Walsh, that we were delivering signs for, and handing them, material and the Democratic slate. And so we were looking for an address, a particular address, and I had dropped her and I said, I'm going down there, I'll come the other way. And she walked past this, she was having trouble seeing the addresses on the houses, but they were still fairly close to the sidewalk. So she's looking, and this man and woman come around the side of the house, and she says, she started to say, can you help me? Can you tell me, is this, 3614, whatever it was. And the dude saw, of course, she had her votes on, hat on and things. And the dude said to her, you get out of here. I'm a Trumper. I don't want to talk to you.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Just based on her, her friendly little votes.
Yeah.
And
One nice experience I had down at Northside, a young woman stopped right there on Hamilton Avenue, and I wasn't quite sure what she was going to say. At first, she started yelling, and I didn't hear her right away, and asked her to speak up, and she said, "I'm from Planned Parenthood. Thank you." So, I work at Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
So
So,
it was-
yeah, Mary and I are already on the schedule to do a house party for Charmaine. And now that Connie Pillage has decided she's going to run, I have to talk to Mary about doing one for Connie and maybe one for Landsman too. So,
If Connie's going to have a primary opponent, or is she the only one? Does anybody know?
I would think she wouldn't. I mean, who would want to? I mean, she's kind of formidable.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if they
I
had.
think, didn't
pretty-
Howard say, Howard Wilkinson talking about that on Cincinnati Edition? I think he said, who was the former mayor, that's a
Cranley.
Really?
Was it Cranley?
Cranley, he
Yeah.
had considered running for that office, but he wasn't going to do it if she
Right.
was
Yeah, somebody brought that up 6 months ago, and I just said, don't make me vote for Cranley.
I know.
Do not care
Well,
for
she's got much more name recognition than the person that's in now, much more,
Yeah.
I think.
powers or, yeah.
Yeah, like who is that? Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording. And